So you're tracking your macros, you're eating all the tofu, and politely ignoring the chocolate, the vegan chocolate left over from last weekend, Easter, just like a saint. But if you are skimping on sleep, your body might be saying, nice try, hun, but I'm hanging on to those love handles like they are heirlooms. Welcome back to the Keto Vegan. I am Rachel. I'm your host. I'm a hypnotherapist and I'm an occasional, very rare night owl. Something amazing has to be happening for me to be a night owl, all my friends will tell you. And I'm sure I've mentioned I like to go to bed about 8 o'clock because I love those mornings. But this episode is going to tell you how your pillow might be your new weight loss ally. Let's start with the basics then. A good night's sleep isn't just about resetting the brain, it's not just about refreshing and feeling less stroppy and grumpy and not making sure you don't fall asleep during your Zoom calls or during a boring lesson if you're a student or a boring meeting or whatever. Good sleep is metabolically essential. Now, studies have shown, and there's some links underneath, studies have shown that too little sleep and too much sleep can really mess with your metabolism and with fat retention. You need to get your sleep just in the middle. 7.5 hours is prime. That is 5 sleep cycles. A sleep cycle is about 90 minutes, and you go through lots of different waveforms and wavelengths of your brain in each sleep cycle. I'm not going to go into that. That's my hypnotherapy side. But it is essential. About 7.5 hours is the time that you want to aim for. And binge sleeping at the weekend does not sort it out. You can't catch up on your sleep at the weekend. It's that regular night, 7.5 hours, that you need to keep your body metabolically lovely and wonderful. Sleep is where the real magic happens, or the real carnage happens, too much or too little. When you're not getting enough sleep, your hormones go completely off the rails. Ghrelin, the hunger hormone, increases. Leptin, the hormone that tells you when you're full, decreases. What a terrible combination. And what happens? You feel hungry. You want carbs. You want to eat late at night. And then if you add cortisol into the mix, that's the stress hormone. The stress hormone, some people think, oh, but it makes me full of energy and stressed and means I burn off energy quicker. No, it doesn't. It has this tendency to store fat for you, just in case you need it for a freeze, fight, flight response later on. So your body starts hoarding fat, especially around your torso. This is where it will store it because it's easier to access there. Because belly fat loves cortisol like a moth likes a lamp. Here's another thing. Poor sleep reduces any good self-control. I'm sure you felt when you're tired that your willpower is almost diminishing and just not there. I know that I do. I know when I wake up in the morning and about 10 o'clock, which is about 4 or 5 hours later, I thought, oh no, I'm tired today. And I know I'm vulnerable to then eating more than I need, to maybe even having cravings for carbs. And it's not just in our imagination that this is happening, it's actually science has shown this, that fMRI scans, functional magnetic resonance imaging scans, show that after a poor night's sleep, your brain's reward center lights up when it sees junk food, when it sees all those carbs that you think they're not going to be any good for me, they're going to kick me right out of ketosis. And what else happens when you feel tired? You can't be bothered to move. It's too much effort in the mind and the body to exercise, to walk, to get up, to be bothered to do the housework, things like that. And it's easier just to start scrolling on Deliveroo, isn't it? And what can you find on Deliveroo that's keto and vegan? Very, very little. Getting sleep is so important. And here's something that's pretty incredible. Your 7.5 hours needs consistency. People who, well, the research says that people who wake up at the same time or very similar time each day are much healthier, have less body fat. Isn't that incredible? So having a lovely sleep routine is the answer to these things. If you're finding it difficult to shift, but you're following all the other rules and you're not getting enough sleep, this could be your answer. This could be the key. Right, let's talk some solutions here because knowledge is power. And choose one or two to start doing. Don't just listen and think, oh, that's a lovely idea, Rach. Do something, pick something, do it. So first thing that I would advise is have a regular go to sleep time and therefore a regular wake up time. I'm really lucky. I haven't had to set my alarm to wake up in the morning since last July when I was teaching because I regularly get my 7.5 hours because I regularly go to bed sometimes 7 o'clock, but I'm normally asleep by 8, half 8, 9-ish. And then I just know after I've had my 7.5 hours, as long as I've not had a disturbed night, I'm awake and I get up and I have my coffee and I sit under the stars if it's not getting light by then, because it's getting summertime here now. The advice is as well, and I don't follow this one, I will confess, but this is what I used to tell my students all the time. Don't look at screens for at least 90 minutes before you go to bed. That's television, that's computer, that's your mobile phone. I don't find that affects me, but that's the advice. So that's another tip that I'm giving you. If sleep is a real hassle for you, start creating a lovely wind down routine. Some people say lavender oils are really good for sleep. I hate the smell of lavender. I don't know why. So many people love it. But start creating this routine, maybe having a bath with some essential oils in, or listening to some music, or talking to somebody that you care about and love, or going out just for a lovely, gentle evening stroll. Or you can start dancing in the kitchen. Whatever it is, don't get too hyper though. You want to be nice and calm when you go to sleep. But start creating a lovely nighttime routine. Cut out caffeine from midday onwards. Caffeine is in tea, obviously coffee, cola as well. So do check, cut caffeine out from midday onwards. I know that if I've got a late night coming, all I need to do is have a coffee at about 3 o'clock and it will keep me awake for another 6 hours at least. Actually, that only takes me to 9, doesn't it? Sometimes it keeps me awake till 10. So if I do know that I'm actually going to be sociable in an evening, I have my caffeine to make sure that I am still alert and not sleeping at the bar. Your bedroom is really important as well. Get blackout blinds or blackout curtains. When it's really dark, your melatonin does things that help you sleep really, really well. You need more melatonin to sleep well, and the darker it is, the better you sleep. No street light coming in, no moonlight coming in. So keep your room dark and cool and lovely and quiet, like a sensory place. And if you can get some lovely soft bedding, I treated myself to some 400 count thread count bedding, and oh my God, it is so lovely. It's worth it, people. It's worth it. You are worth it. Going to bed, I love my bed. And when you wake up in the morning, say, thank you, bed, for my lovely sleep. If you're thinking about supplements, then magnesium-rich foods can really help. Think tofu, spinach, pumpkin seeds, your average vegan starter pack there. The last tip that I'm going to give is meditation or visualization or breathing exercise. And I know that's my hypnotherapy side coming out, but that really, really helps. There's loads of different breathing techniques that you can use. The box method or the window method, longer, short, longer, short. And one thing that I found used to help me a lot was you breathe in slowly for 7, hold it for 7, breathe out slowly for 7, hold that for 7, and do that a number of times. If you wake up in the middle of the night, it can be really helpful, but do it slowly. And if you're sleeping in the same bed as someone, quietly. You don't want them getting disturbed. So it's time to reset. With Easter behind us, and many of us still recovering from that long bank holiday weekend, being sociable, maybe late nights, eating out, those sorts of things, being with family. I mean, I hope you had a really lovely time. And maybe all that temptation with the chocolate, with the vegan chocolate, and maybe some vegan chocolate as well. It's a perfect time now to reset your sleep habits. Give it 3 nights. See, just try some of those things. Journal about how it is, how you're feeling, what you're trying. Start noticing the difference in any cravings that you might have. Having really good sleep is so, so good for us. It's good for our mood and really good for our waistline and cutting out those cravings. It nicely balances the hormones in our body, the ghrelin, the leptin, the cortisol, all of that. With good sleep, we become beautiful humans on the inside. Finally, then, sleep isn't being lazy. It's fat burning, hormone balancing, and brain loving medicine. I cannot stress enough how amazing sleep is. If you want to find out more, come and see me in my hypnotherapy business. So let yourself rest. Get a really great sleep routine going. You've got nothing to prove by not having enough sleep. I know we can oh, I only had 2 hours last night. I know sometimes I wake up at 2:30 in the morning after going to sleep at 8. So that's 6.5 hours. That's still loads of sleep, isn't it? It's crazy, but that means I then start going to bed earlier and earlier. I'm not good for anything. I'll be waking up at 1 a.m., going to sleep at 7. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Anyway, I do try to make sure I don't go to sleep before 9, well, before 8 o'clock. So I'll be back next week with another episode. Until then, stay rested, stay cheeky, and as always, remain keto vegan. I will see you next time.